All right, great selling Saturday, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Sets up my Squirtle Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery in with our 15 minutes to mastery that we do each and every day to get you some information, inspiration, motivation. I'm coming to you live from Seymour, Indiana. Baird Homes in Seymour, Indiana. That's a great place out here. A lot of rain has been happening over the last few days. Wasn't sure we were going to make it out here. Last night they told us we'd possibly be flooded in and not be able to get through. But we're here. We're with you. We're with the group out here, and we're getting ready to attack the selling Saturday. So, I always say Saturday's all about the sale. Saturday, let's just get new business. If you don't have appointments, you don't have customers in front of you, get on the phone. Let's call some. Because here's the thing. Each and every buyer that walks in that door today or any day, but especially today, is only there to say yes. You see, they would not show up unless they wanted to buy a home. Carl Buhner writes, customers may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And so with that in mind, you see, what you do, the customer buying experience that you provide is what stands out, good or bad. And that's what leads them to say yes or no. You think it's the home, you think it's everything else, but it's really about what you bring to the table. It's about how you make them feel. It's how you help them overcome their fears, their doubts, their insecurities. And when you do that in the right manner, and when you can build that relationship, you can build that connection and answer all their questions, take care of the problem, solve the problem, and you have a home that fits in their budget, that meets their wants and some of their needs, not all of their needs, or I should say, fits their needs and some of their wants, not all of their wants. 9 times out of 10, they should say yes. Now, here's the thing, you have to be prepared for the no. You have to understand, you have to be expecting a no each and every time because they're not going to just say yes because it all makes sense. Because in today's day and age, with today's economy, with the market being the way it is, with rates being what they are, even though they've come down a little bit, they're still nervous, they're still scared, they're still uncertain about things. And you have to understand, human beings as humans, we like certainty. That's why most people don't take risks. That's why most people don't go into sales. That's why most people aren't jumping out of planes because of the uncertainty of it. And same thing with the buyers. The uncertainty is what creates that hesitation, creates that doubt for them. They would not be there if they were coming to say no. No buyer walks in your door to tell you no. They don't come in and park in front and tell themselves, we're going to say no. They may say, hey, we're not going to buy anything. We're going to look around, we're going to shop. But in other words, they're not saying, no, we're not buying a house. They may be thinking to themselves, we're not buying a house today, right now, we're here. But that's why you're there. As a housing consultant, you're there to help them overcome those doubts and fears and insecurities that are making them say that to themselves so that they can make the decision they wanted to make. That's the beautiful thing about what we do. All of them want to make the decision to buy. You just have to make it make sense. The unfortunate part of it is that a lot of housing consultants out there don't take the time to help them understand what it is to buy a home. Don't take the time to help take care of their doubts, their insecurities, their fears. And when you don't do that because you're so rushed to run outside and go show homes because you think that's why they're there. Look, ultimately they're there to make a decision to buy. But you have to take care of everything else up front before they're going to go through that process emotionally, psychologically, to be able to make the decision to buy. So do when you don't provide them a great buying experience And that includes what happens as soon as they walk in the door. That includes what happens back in your office. All of that is part of the buying experience. It's not just showing the houses. It's not just walking through and, oh, this is pretty, this is beautiful. Buying process includes everything. And most importantly, it includes you. So that's why high performers, they understand that and they're prepared for the no's. They understand we're looking for the no's. We're wanting the no's because those no's they give you in the house are the last of the doubts, the last of the insecurities that you have to overcome. You see, because if they still had them from the beginning, they wouldn't be at that point where they're picking out a home. But when they tell you that they love this home, this is the perfect home, or this is the 10, whatever they, however it is that they express to you that that certain home is the one they want, they've gone through a lot of what they had to go through. But you, as a high performer, you as a professional, should be anticipating the no's, should be anticipating the objections that they're going to give you because not because they don't want to buy a house, but because they're just uncertain about it. They just have some doubts about it. And they need you to help them through those doubts. They need you to walk them through that insecurity. They need you to help them make it make sense. You see, most buyers, that's the first house they're looking at, first home they're looking at purchasing. Even for people that have bought 2 or 3 homes before, they've only done it over certain periods of time. Somebody maybe is in their third house. It's probably their third house in 15, 20, 30 years. You do this every single day. And because you do it every single day, you should be more prepared than what they are. They're going to be nervous no matter what because they don't buy a home every day. So it's our job to slow down, help them feel comfortable, and answer all the questions, educate them. The more you empower them with information and education, the more prepared they are going to be, and the more likely they're going to be to tell you yes today, this Saturday, and every other day of the week that they may show up. Because just like we said at the beginning, they only come to say yes. They are only sitting in your office because they want to say yes to buying a home. When you wrap your head around that and you take control, when you decide to say, it's up to me to get this buyer, as long as they can buy, to say yes, that's when you're going to be better prepared and you're going to be able to help them solve those issues and feel comfortable with that. Take care of the doubts, take care of the insecurities, take care of the fears. Do all of that up front before you go out to show homes. And how do you know if you've done it? Ask. You see, too many of you, even if you do bring them in, you go through a interview process with them. You're going down your basic standard answers. You're taking your surface level answers. You're just rushing through it, and you don't bother to just slow down enough to say, "Hey, what before we go out there and look at homes, what's got you a little nervous today? I know we went over a lot of information, but what have I still not explained? What maybe do you have some questions on before we go out and look at these houses? Because when we're out there, I want you to feel as comfortable as you possibly can be, and make sure that you have all the information that you have that you need so that you can be in the moment while you're looking at your future homes." So, people like Roe, they get it, man. It is an emotional investment, and so we don't sell homes, we solve problems. That's exactly what it is, right? And so when you can do that for your buyers, it's not always going to be pretty. There's going to be hiccups, there's going to be issues, there's going to be problems. We're buying homes, we're building homes. You're a home builder for all intents and purposes, and there's always going to be something that comes up. But when you're prepared, when you are resolved to provide the best buying experience possible, you're going to see that you're going to win more times than not. You're going to be able to provide that solution that both Marissa and Ro were talking about. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You win in your life, you win financially only because you solved problems, because you provided families a solution they needed. It is an emotional investment. And at the same time, it's a logical one. So we need to address all of that up front before we go show home. So how can we do this? How can we provide one of the best buying experiences possible? First and foremost, you have to have the resolve to get the yes. It does me no good to show up every single day to the office and have that doubt or not be convinced that I am here to help any family that walks in here, any family that calls me, any family that I bring in, to be able to say yes. If I'm hoping, that means I'm not prepared. That means I'm not confident. And because of that, I'm going to go through the motions. You're going to be going through the motions, but you're not going to be fully intent and focused in on making sure that you hit the target, which is helping that family move forward today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. It's always about today. So in order to do this, folks, you got to have that resolve, but you also have to start with empathy. You really need to care. You see, if you truly cared about these families, you wouldn't give in so easily to the resistance that they may put up. You wouldn't be rushing to get out the door. You would be getting better. You'd be improving You'd be improving your knowledge of construction. You'd be improving your knowledge of interacting with people. You'd be improving your way of being able to build rapport. If you truly cared, you would take the time to improve yourself so that you can be better for those families that are coming in, that are calling you. So start with empathy and really care. And then be prepared to help solve the problems, just like Ro and Marissa said. Be prepared to solve those problems because every single one of them, even the one coming in to buy an investment property, or investment home, has a housing issue. So be prepared to solve problems. Solve the problem, you get the sale. And really, really important, don't rush, don't skip steps. Slow down, help them slow down, help them get over that anxiety they may be feeling internally and they're trying to rush through because they don't want to feel like they're being sold, and you're feeling anxious as well because you're not sure how to even handle a customer. See, when you prepare yourself, like we talked about earlier, when you learn to be better, you won't be nervous when somebody's in front of you. You won't be nervous when that person is walking in the door. You won't be nervous when you're talking. You will feel empowered. And every time you answer the phone, you get a message, you have a family in front of you, you're going to be confident in knowing that you are there to serve a purpose. But when we're not prepared, we rush. When we're not confident, we rush. And when we rush, you lose more times than not. And lastly, help the buyer get out of their own way. They want to say yes. They came in to say yes, but they are going to put up every single excuse and reason as to why they're not going to move forward today. It's your job to help them get out of their own way and make the decision they came in to make. If we can keep that in mind, we can work in this manner. You're going to be so much more effective this selling Saturday and any day out of the week. So go out and do great things this Saturday. Help a ton of families. Help them solve the problem that they've got. And let's go and out and have a fantastic Saturday. Look, we're in Seymour, Indiana. We're heading back home to Texas later this evening. Hope you guys been having a great week. I know we have, and we're looking forward to getting back home just for a day, and then we're back out on the road. But that's what it's about as we're building. Same thing for you. So you guys go out there, do some great things. We'll be talking again tomorrow with the Sunday Recharge edition of 15 Minutes to Mastery. And until then, my friends, as always, can't wait to meet you.